Before we jump into the Chicago Bears mailbag, if you're a Bulls fan, help us out and reach 1,000 subscribers on our new Bulls YouTube channel here at Chat Sports. We're just about 300 subscribers away over there. Link's right there. It'll also be in the comments and description of this video, youtube.com/@BullsReport. Patrick Seatman's doing a great job leading our coverage over there. And once we cross 1,000 subs, I'm going to be on a video. So be sure to check that out. If you're a Bulls fan, you're not going to want to miss out. My name's Harrison Graham, and it is mailbag time here on Bears Now by Chat Sports. So use hashtag Bears or Super Chat. If you Super Chat, you'll get to the front of the line. Shout out Bashi Brown, a first-time Super Chatter here on Bears Now. He asks, is it a possibility to sign Yannick Ngakoue in trade for Chase Young? The little combo there. From a financial standpoint, it absolutely is. You have $35 million in cap space. Ngakoue and Chase Young aren't going to eat up $35 million. So you definitely could. Would the Bears do that? I think it would depend. How much are you giving up in a trade for Chase Young? I think that's number one that Ryan Poles would have to figure out. I don't think he's going to give up a first-round pick for him. Would he even give up a second? I'm not sure with his injuries the past 2 years, so something to consider. Is it possible? Yes. Would I expect it? Probably not. I'd give it one spoken J. Corey Redding, growing up in Minnesota, appreciate the super chat. As a Bears fan, I've learned to hate the Vikes just as much as the Packers. Can I get an F the Vikes? Listen, type F Minnesota, F the Vikings in the chat. Shout out to my guy Corey there. We hate all NFC North teams. We just hate the Packers a little more, at least I do. But F the Vikes, F the Lions. You guys know the drill. From Daniel Trump, another super chat. He says, rate the Bears roster, especially compared to last year. How much is it improved? I think it's improved a lot. I'm going to do a roster breakdown video soon, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. But I think you've gotten better at most positions, if not all, which is a good thing. And which, if you didn't, that would have been pretty disappointing since you were the worst team in football last year, had the number one pick. So, yeah, I think it's better. Is it better enough to be a playoff team? That remains to be seen, but I definitely think steps in the right direction have been made. Trey Talk Sports says, can we get a birthday shout-out? I hope I can meet Justin Fields. Love the dude. Come on, man. Can't wait to see him take over the NFL. Bear down. Shout-out Trey Talk Sports. Get the HBDs and the bear downs going for the man. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a fantastic day and hopefully a good dinner tonight. That's always the best part about your birthday. You get to pick your dinner. Hopefully it's a good one. From Billy Bob, could Terell Smith start at cornerback over Tyrique Stevenson? Seen a couple of loose rumors, ideas that maybe Terell Smith, the fifth rounder out of Minnesota, could start over Tyrique Stevenson at CB2. I certainly have Stevenson as the penciled in number 2 outside corner opposite of Jalen Johnson with Kyler Gordon staying in the nickel. But I think Terell Smith was a bit of a steal there in the 5th round. His athletic profile stands out. He's 6 feet. He's got a long wingspan, 32-inch arms, about 200 pounds. Good physicality at corner. He had a lot of injuries in college, but was able to stay healthy for Minnesota this year and have a good 6th-year senior season. We'll see. I do know this. They're going to let these guys compete. Like, no one's going to be given a job. When you win 3 games the year before, you got to come in and earn it. And whether that's Stevenson, Smith, or if it's still Kendall Vildor or Jalen Jones, someone's going to have to earn that job, and I'm excited to see that competition. Who do you think is more likely to start as that outside corner opposite of Jalen Johnson? Type 29 for Tyrique Stevenson, his jersey number, or type 32 for Terell Smith for his jersey number. Show him some love, 29 or 32. Who do you think is more likely to start? Mike Nintendo Master, would you re-sign Claypool or Mooney next year? Based on what we know right now, Mooney, but the reason I wouldn't be surprised if it's the other way around is, one, this regime traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool, and they did not draft Darnell Mooney. And 2, Mooney's coming off an injury. So depends how these guys perform this year. I do think the scenario of picking one and letting the other one walk makes a lot of sense. Bring on the competition, baby. That's kind of the theme of the offseason. JP McDonald, Bears future greater than the Packers future. How great does that feel? On paper, that's definitely true. I hope it plays out that way. One thing I know for sure, FGB. H-Bark, for some reason, people are forgetting we have DJ Moore. How many yards and tutties do you see him having? Well, if he gets back to, what he's been his whole career, his numbers were slightly down last year, but the QB situation in Carolina, just a mess. He should have around 1,200 yards and 7 or 8 touchdowns. I mean, that's kind of what I'm expecting. So hopefully he's able to do that. Say quads, Barkley. Would you rather trade for Chase Young or Quinnen Williams? Quinnen Williams. I know edge is a bigger need, but Quinnen Williams is more of a certainty coming off a 12-sack season. Chase Young's been injured the last 2 years. So Quinnen Williams. Now, the one reason you could argue the other way is, one, it shouldn't cost nearly as much to get Chase Young, and two, it is a slightly bigger need right now, but all that being said, I would still trade for Quinnen Williams. Matt Nagy, former Bears coach, hanging out. If you had to buy a current Bears defensive player's jersey this season, whose would it be? That's a good question. Eddie Jackson, I would say, is still a good jersey for sure. Jalen Johnson's still a good jersey. Do you gamble on one of the new guys like Javon Dexter or Tyrique Stevenson or Zach Pickens? Tremaine Edmonds, I mean, big money linebacker. It's always cool to have a Bears linebacker jersey. It's kind of the standard in the NFL, Bears linebacker play. So there's still some good ones. If I had to pick one, I don't know. Maybe I'd go Edmonds. I'd have to think about that a little more. From Evan K., how do you feel about Allen Williams? Have faith in Eberflus's defense, but Allen is on the hot seat for me this year. Yeah, look, he's got to show more. Now, I give him a bit of a pass from last year because they traded Roquan, they traded Robert Quinn, and the rest of the defense just wasn't that good. I mean, Jalen Johnson missed a lot of games. Eddie Jackson missed the final third of the season with injury. You were trotting out an all-UDFA corner group 1 week. I mean, you had injuries and you already didn't have great personnel to begin with. I still don't think the defense is awesome on paper, but it definitely should be improved. And if it's not, there's going to be questions about Allen Williams for sure. I wouldn't put him on the hot seat yet to start the year, but I'm keeping an eye on him. Allen Williams has got to get more out of this group this season. Be sure to subscribe. We go live every Tuesday to take your questions, 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 Central Time. So subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way you never miss a video, and especially don't miss our live shows on Tuesday afternoons, 4 Eastern, 3 Central Time, all off season long. Patrick, 1963, what player do you think can be the next Richard Dent? Oh, man. I don't know if you've got that on your roster right now, if I'm being completely honest. Just pulling up some of his old numbers here. 140 sacks for his career. I don't know if you've got that, if I'm being real. So, who knows? I mean, hopefully someone develops. That would certainly be nice. Rentifer 88, who do you think will have a breakout season this year? I hope Fields. I think Justin Fields broke out last year, but I mean like the takeoff. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Like, take that next step, have your passing game match your rushing ability, and if you do that, I mean, good luck stopping this offense. Because if Fields becomes a guy that throws for 3,800 yards a season, 4,000 yards, I don't know how you slow this team down. I mean, they've got a lot of weapons now, so the O-line holds up and Fields takes that next step, look out. Richard Ngakoue, Bears fan number 1. Do you think we have a chance on getting Marvin Harrison Jr. next year? And today is my birthday. And Harrison, you guys are amazing. Go Bears. Another birthday. HPD's in the comments. You guys know what's up. And, yeah, absolutely. There's a chance. Now, the question is, 1, are you going to for sure need a receiver? I think you could, but not necessarily. And 2, I think it depends on, A, where the Bears finish, and obviously where the Panthers finish as well. If the Bears and Panthers both surprise teams and, are 500 or better, you're probably not going to get Marvin Harrison. I think he's going to go top 5. But if Carolina sucks, which we hope they do, then you could be in a position. Or if the Bears surprisingly struggle, you could be in position as well. But I'll say this. If the Bears are in position to draft Marvin Harrison with their own pick, they might be drafting a quarterback, because that could mean Justin Fields didn't have a great year. Don't think that's the case, but you never know. Jarrett Page, defense top 16. That would surprise me. If it's a top 16 defense, Flus and Allen Williams did a hell of a job. I think the back 7's solid, but the front 4 still needs work. Dexter and Pickens need time to develop. Your edge situation still isn't great. Top 25? I mean, if you had top 20 defense, I'd be thrilled, if I'm being honest. Leon Lucas, how confident are you with Jenkins moving to the left side and Whitehair Patrick at center? Tevin Jenkins has been pretty resilient, man. He played great at right guard. You would think that would translate to left guard. As far as Whitehair and Patrick at center, they've both played that position before. Answer me this, Leon. They can't be worse than Sam Mustipher, can they? So I think center will be an upgrade, and hopefully Jenkins at left guard and Nate Davis at right guard is some upgrades at those spots as well. Name a random Bears player. All-time, current, doesn't matter. Drop a random Bears player's name in the comment section. Here's a good example. Caleb Haney. Remember him? Tragically, I do, because he was horrendous. So name a random Bears player in the chat. Tron Javolta, see what you did there. I have seen lots of footage of Dexter. He looks great. Why are people so down on him? Because the production wasn't always there at Florida. Now, I think some of that's schematic. At times, he was slow to, get off the snap. Ball would be snapped, and he's moving a half second later. Some of that was read and react, what Florida was having him do. But he's got the physical arsenal to be a star. Now, it's up to him and the Bears to reach that potential. He's got to do that. Philip Stafford says, if Mooney and Claypool perform well together, do you think we could re-sign both of them? There's absolutely a scenario where both return. Now, if they do, what does that mean for Velus Jones and Tyler Scott? I don't know. If neither of them show a lot this year, but Mooney and Claypool do, maybe you bring both back. Maybe you sign one to an extension and you tag the other one to keep for just one extra year. That could be on the table as well. Definitely don't want to limit the opportunity for both to return. The Bears will have plenty of cap space to bring both back if they want to. Dennis Henman, where would you rank this roster on paper after we address edge? Really no holes in the team after edge. Looks top 10 to 12. Like, on paper, it's definitely a lot improved, but you still have a lot of first-year players with this team. Like, if I know for sure Tremaine Edmonds is going to play like a top 5, top 10 linebacker like he did last year, yeah, that's a huge upgrade. TJ Edwards, is he going to play as good as he did last year in Philly? Hopefully, but he was also playing behind an elite defensive line that helps. Can it be top 15, top 20? I think, if this roster plays like a top 10 roster, they're going to be a playoff team. So my expectations aren't that high. I think this team could make the playoffs. I had them going 9-8 in my record prediction. I think the schedule works out well in their favor, but let's pump the brakes just a little bit. Thomas Juvenal, would you sign Ngakoue 2 years, $20 million, 14 guaranteed? I probably would. With the Bears, I'm hesitant to think they would. The fact that he's unsigned at this point tells me he probably wouldn't get a deal like that. At this point in free agency, it's rare for players to get multi-year deals, and it's definitely rare to get $10+ million per year. I could see 1 year, $8 million with 6 guaranteed, something like that. Maybe do an incentive type of contract, but I don't think the Bears would do 2 for $20 with 14 guaranteed. Would I consider it? I absolutely would. Just don't think the Bears would. Christian, thoughts on Travis Bell starting midway through the season? Look, 7th-round pick out of Kennesaw State. The learning curve is going to be big. There's no doubt. But, I think you work him in there and see what he can do. I do think he'll make this roster because you're not super deep at defensive tackle. I think right now he's your 5th defensive tackle in the pecking order. Billings, Jones, Dexter, and Pickens are all going to make this team. I think Bell would be next. I would expect the Bears to probably carry at least 5 there. So I do think he makes this team. As far as starting, let's see how he develops first. Chris Pagero, do not tell me Caleb Haney is the worst. Anyone remember the NFC Championship in 2010? Dude was goated in a losing effort. Listen, he had some moments. There's no doubt. There is no doubt. Shout out Caleb Haney for stepping in that game. But at the same time, you didn't want Caleb Haney slinging it for more than a game here and there. I think we could all agree on that. Corey Redding, can Noah Sewell start over Sanborn? Absolutely. I think there's a decent chance that's the case. And by the way, if he does, we should view that as a positive. If Jack Sanborn goes from being your best linebacker by the end of last season to your 4th the next year, that means your position group there got completely overhauled and improved a lot. So if Sewell wins that job, that's great. If Jack Sanborn wins it, hey, that's good too. He played well last year. So I definitely think he can. I think that'll be a heated competition for the 3rd linebacker spot. Appreciate all your questions. If we couldn't get to yours or if you have more questions, follow me on social media at HGramNFL on Twitter and on Instagram. You can hit me up over there. DMs are always open if you want to ask any Bears, NFL, or Any other questions, I'm pretty much an open book. At HGramNFL, Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, subscribe to the channel. Never miss out on a video here on Chicago Bears Now.